everybody, I'm back and I thought I would do a travel post this time because in my description I wrote that my family and I, we love to travel and we've traveled all over the world. We travel twice a year, once during Christmas to the Caribbean for a relaxing holiday, and every summer we do Europe, sometimes Asia, sometimes Africa, and try to travel to all the major cities around the world. Our goal when we had our children was to show them all the different monuments of the world, the landmarks, and be able to say that we've taken them there for these experiences. So people always ask me, where are you guys going next? And my husband and I, we do a lot of research, we do a lot of planning together. It's actually one of the most enjoyable parts of the vacation is planning it and the anticipation. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to share my 5 top family trips when traveling. So travel tip number 1, and I've shared this with a lot of my friends, constantly check your hotels. What I do is I start booking from almost 7-8 months ahead of time. I look at different hotels, I book multiple rooms on multiple sites, and I always get free cancellation because I check back every day or two, and I check for weeks, months, right up until the time just before I'm leaving to see if the prices have gone down. So what I do is I book it again, go back, cancel it, and I just keep going on. I did this last year with hotels in Morocco when we were going to Morocco, and I booked a whole bunch, and the hotel that we really wanted to stay at had no availability, and 2 weeks before our departure date it just happened to come up, and it came up at a great rate, so I snapped it up right away and canceled the other hotel. So it's a great way to get the best price and get the hotels that you want, and you always have those ones if you miss them. Tip number 2. I always say, and I always do this, book everything as much as you can online and ahead of time. For example, when we went to Italy, we traveled all over the country, and we went to the Uffizi, we went to the Vatican Museum, and we always travel in peak travel times, so the lineups are crazy. But because we had booked our tickets and printed them off ahead of time, we literally passed hours and hours of waiting time, people waiting, went right to the front, scanned our tickets, and we were in and ready to enjoy the museums. This year we did that with the Van Gogh Museum and passed a huge line as well. For the first time this year we also booked our shuttles, our airport shuttles online. We went to Amsterdam and Prague, and we had read a lot about just the difficulty of finding taxis and making sure they're taking you to the right place and charging you the right fare. So to avoid standing in that dreaded taxi line and not knowing if you have the right amount of change or enough money in foreign currency at the city you're visiting, it's best to book airport shuttles. From here, you pay on your credit card and you have nothing to worry about. So what I like to do is I like to take all of my travel documents, e-documents for the flights, hotel confirmations, airport shuttle vouchers. If you're going on a flight that requires you buying check-in luggage, then you print out those things as well. And I like to put them all in a folder, and I like to label them at the top and pin them so that I know what's coming in the right chronological order. I take all of those, I put them in an envelope, and I put them in my purse when I get on the airplane, and then I also give a copy of this to my husband so he has it as well. It saves so much time, and it frees up your vacation for doing all those things that you love to do instead of waiting in line. So tip number 3, my husband and I, we always do this. Anytime we travel, we like to get some contact with the hotel before we leave. After we book, we usually email them, or if you can call them, it's even better, because speaking to a live person always helps. But we always notify them if we're celebrating a special occasion. Recently on our trip to Europe this summer, we let the Prague hotel know that we were celebrating our 17-year anniversary. So upon arrival at the hotel, when we checked in, they let us know that they were going to be giving us free Wi-Fi inside the room at all times during our stay. For a whole week with the 2 teenagers, let me tell you, it was a blessing. They also decorated our bedroom and sent up a bottle of champagne with strawberries and chocolate covered strawberries. It was a real treat. What I like to do is once I've let them know that we're coming and we're celebrating the occasion, and once they've responded to me, I like to print out those emails and always take a copy with me just to remind them in case they have forgotten. Tip number 4. We like to always book hotels that have breakfast. Even if you're paying a little bit more for breakfast included, it's so worth it. When you have 2 kids and you wake up in the morning, you don't want to be walking around looking for good breakfast deals because it's just going to make you crankier and crankier as we go. So we like to have breakfast at our hotel and start the day off on a really full stomach. We really load up on breakfast. My husband and I can go hours afterwards without having anything. And if there's fruit, we always ask the kids walk out of the buffet with a fruit in each hand. And if there's granola bars or little breakfast bars, that's even better. You just slip a few of those in one pocket and in the other, and you have some snacks and you're good to go for a couple of hours before you have to stop on the road to fuel up again. So, tip number 5, last tip. I always like to sign up for every rewards on all the different sites that offer them. What happens is you just rack them up. Before you know it, you have a free night stay, or like we did this year on our way back from Amsterdam after checking out from the previous hotel. 3 days afterwards, my rewards were in my account, and I kept looking, like I said in the first tip, for new hotels that would be coming up during our trip, and I found a most amazing hotel that would have cost us $500 a night, but using my rewards points, it ended up costing us only $250, but we would never have been able to stay at this fabulous hotel if we hadn't racked up those points. And what I did is I just canceled the last one and it worked out. The other thing you want to do is while you're vacationing at the hotel, you can sometimes check to see if there's a way that you can like a page or write a review while you're still at the hotel, and many places will offer you some incentives. A couple of years ago, my husband and I celebrated our 15-year anniversary in Miami. There was a note in our hotel room that said, if we filled out a review of what our trip was like so far at the hotel, they would provide us with a voucher for a free cocktail on the rooftop terrace. So of course, we went home that night, filled it out, and the next afternoon we were enjoying a free drink on the house on the beautiful terrace. Similarly, you can write reviews and get credit or join programs while you're staying at the hotel. Last year, on one of our trips, we joined one of the eco programs at the hotel, and at the end of each day, they gave us a credit towards eclairs and cappuccinos at the restaurant lobby bar, which was amazing, and of course we took full advantage. So, as I try to fill out more and more of this beautiful travel wall that we have of all of our money shots from our vacations, I urge you to take advantage of these travel tips and keep on traveling.